So let's do that. Let's wire up the PSoC. That'll make it easier. So, to wire up the PSoC, we're going to have to do a little bit of tweaking here. Now, you can see this J11 VN and ground pins here. I believe that is where we can feed in an external voltage into the regulator on this board. So power can either come in here or it can come in here. It can also come in other places too, but these are the best two places, especially when you're working with something outside of 5 volts. So let's take a look at the schematic and make sure that J11 is where we want to connect up to. Okay, so we're looking for the schematic for this PSoC 4 Pioneer Kit board. And where you find the schematic for these PSoC cards, it's way down in the PSoC home directory on the C drive. So for me, that's Program Files x86, Cypress, and so here is the 042 PSoC 4 Pioneer Kit. You can see I have a few other kits that I use, 043 and 049. Those are the other two that I showed. And so we're going to drop down in here into hardware, and here's the CY8 kit 042 schematic. So we're going to pop down in here, and it looks like our power stuff is up here in this corner, so I'm going to hold down the control key and zoom in and drag this over. And sure enough, here's J11, 2-pin header, VN and ground. And so it looks like VN here is coming over to the input of this regulator, which is then going to provide the 3.3 volts that we need. And it won't interfere with the 5 volts that's coming in on the USB connector, which I believe is this V-bus. So you can see these diodes here are protecting each of the voltage sources from connecting to each other. So let's go ahead and wire up VN and ground to power the PSoC, and then we can get our 3.3 volts to test the motors. So if you recall, we said we're going to get power to the PSoC from the battery as well after the switch. So what I've got some pretty long power wires, the same 22 gauge stranded wires that I used for the switch and the power. I made these long because I know we were going to run those through and all the way up to the PSoC, which is going to be in the bed of the pickup truck. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to stack these in here with these wires and get them both in there. And in doing that, wire in there, clamp it on down, good and tight, full test, golden. So now what do we want to do here? Do we want to solder those wires directly to this board?